He knows one of the people who were involved through going to high school here in Bibb County, and that is the extent of his knowledge of any of these people, according to his statements to me. Again, Your Honor, I've not had discovery, but what I've been able to see, this is a child. There's not a lot to say about his life. He doesn't have any children. He doesn't have any other bonds that he's currently on. He doesn't have any violent criminal history. He's 16, 17 years old. He should not be sitting in the LEC. He should be at home.
ESO was dispatched to the scene, and when they arrived, co-defendant Curtis Jackson, he was on scene and provided information to law enforcement, including naming this defendant, Mr. McDonald, as a shooter. Co-defendant Jackson also named Michael Hardy, who was the other co-defendant, as another shooter. And when further confronted by law enforcement, Hardy admitted to being a shooter. And consistent with the first co-defendant, Mr. Jackson, Hardy independently named Mr. McDonald as a shooter as well. So two people have come forward and named Mr. McDonald as a shooter. The facts leading up to the murder case, they stem from a car accident that happened in the vicinity of Mr. Mays' home, the deceased victim's home. Some of the persons involved in that car accident, they were transported to the medical center for their injuries, Your Honor. But right before the ambulance arrived, it is believed that they stashed weapons and maybe even drugs in the vicinity of Mr. Mays', the deceased victim's home. Now, this defendant and his co-defendants then went to Mr. Mays' home thinking that he knew that the drugs or weapons were in his backyard or somewhere around his home, and they went to retrieve them. Mr. Mays, when he was confronted by these defendants, including this defendant, he stated, he didn't know anything about any weapons or drugs that were stashed around his house. I guess at that point they didn't believe him, and at that point they opened fire, killing Mr. Mays. The law enforcement, the crime lab judge, they recovered shell casings from multiple firearms at Mr. Mays' home at the crime scene, including a .380 and a .40 caliber. Mr. Hardy, the co-defendant, he admitted to having and to shooting the .380. Thus, this shows and is consistent with the statement of the co-defendants that there were multiple shooters in this case. Hardy, as I said before, he indicated that the co-defendant, Mr. Rhodes, and this defendant had guns, and they were the other shooters in this case, Judge. He was indicted for malice murder, felony murder, and gang activity. Postings on Facebook show that he is a member of the 10-12 gang. He has admitted to being a quote-unquote petty thug, and his Facebook name is RIP Petty. So this is further evidence of his affiliation with the 10-12 gang. He's also seen on his Facebook postings throwing up gang signs and wearing t-shirts and other clothing that show his affiliation with 10-12. Judge, given his juvenile history, he's only 17, as defense counsel noted earlier, and he already has quite a lengthy record in the juvenile system.